yadrikcha yadvikari yatascha yat sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrunu ऋषिभिर् बहुधा गीतं छन्दोभिर् विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः. Now this chapter, as we discussed, is Gnana chapter. A lot of knowledge Krishna gives about the six aspects that Arjuna asked. What is Kshetra? What is Kshetragna? What is Gnanam, Gneyam? What is Prakriti and Purusha? So Krishna gives knowledge about all of this. And so Krishna is talking now about Kshetra. Kshetra means, simply put, it is our body, the field. We talked about the example of the field and the gardener. The soul is the gardener and the body is like the garden. The gardener is maintaining the garden. So now Krishna tells more details about this garden or the field or the kshetram or the body. Tat kshetram yatcha yadrikcha. Please hear my brief description about this field of activity, how it is constituted, what its changes are, vikari, whence it is produced, yataha, and who the knower of the field of activities, saha, and what's its influences are, tat prabhavaha, yat prabhavaha, tat samasena me shrunu. And this knowledge, Krishna says, not that I am speaking by myself, even though Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is establishing a standard that any knowledge you speak, it should be quoted from scriptures and from great authorities. Like you go to the court, you are a lawyer, you are arguing, and the judge becomes convinced about the argument not merely by the argument. Of course, argument also makes a lot of it carries a lot of weight. But importantly, more than the argument, if the lawyer shows previous judgment, previous cases where similar situation happened and how the judge gave the result. So this is the judge's verdict in the previous case. This is the constitution. According to the constitution, this is how you are supposed to interpret. And this has been done in the previous cases. He quotes these cases. And he quotes the law. Oh, this is the relevant law applicable for this situation. And that makes the argument more powerful. So similarly, Krishna, he's saying the knowledge I am giving is also been given earlier. Same knowledge, same explanation was given by Rishibhir Bahudha Gitam. The great sages have explained this, described this Bahudha Gitam in many, many ways. And not only they described, but it is established in Chandobihi Vividhai Prutak. It is established in Vedic writings, especially in Brahma Sutra Padaihi, in the Vedanta Sutra aphorisms written by Vyasadeva, along with Hetumadbhir Vinischitayahi, is presented with all reasoning as to cause and effect. So you see, this is the way of presenting knowledge. We have to quote the scripture, we have to quote the sadhus, the Mahajanas. Mahajanas means the great saintly persons coming in disciplic succession. That is why our Bhagavad Gita is called as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is. As Krishna instructed to Arjuna, the same knowledge, same spirit, same purport is being presented. Any other commentator who does not come in disciplic succession, we cannot take it as it is. because they don't understand the spirit. It has to be conveyed by Krishna himself. The intent of the book is known only to the author. And when the author gives that intent to somebody, and that somebody very carefully passes on to their disciple, like that, the message goes on. So, when speaking knowledge, we have to quote the previous authorities, we have to quote the scriptures. So, and then we have to quote the Guru. So, these three things: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. The spiritual master, the great Mahajanas, who are authorized representatives of the Lord, and the scriptures. All three has to corroborate. Otherwise, your knowledge is useless. It is just a mental speculation. During Prabhupada's time, when Prabhupada went to the West, came to the US, many young men would come with scholarly pretensions to test Prabhupada's knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And then Prabhupada would tell them, so you're speaking philosophy. Yes, I've read Bhagavad Gita. So if you read Bhagavad Gita, what is your conclusion? Prabhupada would ask. If you claim to know Bhagavad Gita, then you should know the conclusion that Krishna is presenting. But funnily, and most surprisingly, most people, they did not think that there was supposed to be a definite conclusion to Bhagavad Gita. And even if there were such a conclusion, that did not mean they were supposed to arrange their life around it. They were thinking Bhagavad Gita was a spiritual book and it's just like any other book, and you don't have to follow it. It's just you are reading for your mental satisfaction. And then sometimes, one time a young man approached Prabhupada and said, what book you will be lecturing from next week? Will you be teaching from the, Tibetan Book of the Dead? As if Prabhupada would teach spirituality like a college survey course in world religions. And then Prabhupada would tell them, no, everything is there in Bhagavad Gita. We could study one verse for 3 months and get so much of knowledge. We should study Bhagavad Gita regularly and follow its instructions. It is not meant for time pass. And then this student, this young man, no, 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 what about the other philosophers? Like he would name, uh, you know, different philosophers. And then Prabhupada would ask, what is his philosophy? And then he would say, oh, he says everything is absurd. And the only philosophical question is whether to commit suicide. So that was his philosophy, that philosopher's philosophy. And then Prabhupada would say, that means everything is absurd for him. The material world is absurd, but there is spiritual world beyond this one that we get knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. There is spirit soul beyond this body. So people usually they think when Krishna is saying this field means this body, they only know about this body. They don't know about the knower of the body, Kshetragna. Like you go and see a nice, beautiful garden, beautifully maintained. And anybody would be foolish to think, oh, the just garden just exists like that, isn't it? And nobody is taking care of it. It's foolish to think like that. But many people think like that. Oh, this body is just existing. By nature it formed. By mix of man and woman, union of man and woman it formed. They don't know anything about the spirit soul. And many philosophers also speak like that. Oh, life is absurd. And then these young men would come and talk different philosophies. Prabhupada would ask, what is their philosophy? What is their philosophy? And then Prabhupada would conclude, they're all mental speculators. They're not giving real knowledge. Real knowledge means three things, as I said: Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. None of them follow scriptures. What to speak of having a guru or following previous authority. And then Prabhupada would teach them one very, very important point, that in this material world, we have four defects. Anybody with solid intelligence, even simple common sense, can contemplate and understand we all have four imperfections. Firstly, our senses are defective, isn't it? Our senses are defective. I hear something, but the next day I forget, or I might have misheard, I might have assumed so many things. Our senses are defective. Our eyes, ears, nose, we have limitations. And as a result, we are illusioned. That is the second defect. We are illusioned. We think something to be something else. Every day we are hearing spiritual topics, but the moment we go in front of the mirror, we comb our hair, we dress ourselves, we put makeup, just saying, thinking we are this body. Of course, body also needs to be maintained, but practically, I'm saying, every moment we act as if we are this body. It's the biggest illusion, isn't it? In the night, we dream, and in the dream, we get another body. We are being hunted by a tiger, or we are in a precarious situation, dangerous situation. The moment that nightmare is over, we wake up, oh my God, thank God it is done. It's an illusion, isn't it? But we were thinking we were that body. Similarly, what we are going through in this life, in the next life, this is completely gone. So, in that sense, it is illusion. This body is an illusion. It is ephemeral. It comes and goes. But the person who is experiencing the soul, he is constant. So the second defect, first defect, senses are imperfect. Second defect is we are therefore illusioned. The third defect is because we are illusioned, we commit mistakes. Naturally. You might think the rope or the snake to be a rope and hold on to it. In so many ways. Oh, I thought it is something else. You touch it, it burns. Illusion. We make mistakes. And the fourth defect is we have tendency to cheat. We commit mistakes, and to cover it up, we have tendency to cheat. Naturally, we lie when something, you know, you did something wrong, and somebody questions, no, 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 I did like this only. Naturally, it comes out unless one is trained properly. Lying is just one thing, but there are so many ways people try to cheat. It's cheating tendency. So these four defects, honestly, if you see, every conditioned soul has. So a conditioned soul, when he is giving knowledge with these four defects, he cannot give perfect knowledge. His knowledge remains defective. So therefore, it has to be given by a person who is completely free from defects, who is beyond this material limitations. the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when He gives the knowledge, and when the knowledge is passed down from one authority to the authority, other authority, then we can say, yes, this is how it is. Otherwise, we can become bewildered. Like, for example, you take ants, ants. The ant is going, and you draw with a chalk piece, you draw a circle around it. The ant becomes confused. The ant can easily step across, but the ant becomes confused. It's a big wall for the ant. It sees two dimensions. So let's say a group of ants, they stored some nice sugar particle, some food, and they built a wall around it. It's a two-dimensional wall. And they put some uh, pieces of grass around it. They pick up some pieces of stone, whatever it is, dirt, and put around it. They think they have secured it. Naturally, other two-dimensional creatures, they see it a block. They cannot go across it. But then the human being, a three-dimensional creature, can easily pick it up. Whatever they stored within that boundary, we can easily pick it up. And then the ants, okay, now let's go and eat it. They open it, they erase that wall, unlocked it, and boom, they find it's gone. How did it go? They have no idea how it went. They cannot comprehend it. It's a miracle. It's mysterious. But a three-dimensional creature seeing above can easily understand what is happening. Isn't it? So similarly, we are all three-dimensional creatures. And there are scientists also, they agree that there are higher and higher dimensions in this universe. Let's say a fourth dimension creature does something which is unimaginable. So let's say there is a egg, and inside the egg there is yolk, and that is gone. When you break the egg, it is completely empty. Or the coconut, let's say the completely coconut water is gone the next day. Coconut is not broken. Hey, what happened to this? The fourth dimensional creature can do that. It's like you took away the ants' food within their wall. But we cannot comprehend that. So therefore, achintya khaluye bhava natam starkena yojayet. What is inconceivable to us, achintya? Don't try to extrapolate with your meager intelligence or tiny logic. Natam starkena yojayet. Accept from the authority who is beyond your dimension. If you want to understand who your father is, accept the verdict of the mother. Otherwise, you cannot go and find out who your father. You are not even there when father begot you. So this is called achintya, inconceivable things which you cannot comprehend. Believe in the authority. Don't speculate mentally. I remember in my childhood, um, we did not know Hindi at that point. We were in the South India and not even started learning Hindi. So, there were these serials, TV serials coming, and I heard this. One of they would call the mother as ma like that, right? So I would go and tell my parents, Hindi is very easy. You just have to reverse whatever you're speaking in. We speak Telugu. Whatever you're speaking, we say amma. You call a mother as Amma. You just reverse it, Ma, it becomes Hindi. And whether they believed or not, they seem to have believed it. And oh, it's like that. So people when philosophers they say out of their mental speculation, it seems very convincing. Just like whatever I spoke, even though as little as it was, for an ignorant person, it seems very convincing. And there may be some words which you reverse, it might seem like a genuine Hindi words. So a mental speculator can convince, and people who are ignorant can believe. But that doesn't mean that is spiritual knowledge. The Prabhupada would tell, no, whenever these people would come, oh, what about that philosophy, this philosopher, that knowledge, this book, we should study this, that. No, no, no. These are all mental speculators. So we should take from bona fide book, Bhagavad Gita, and the speaker, Krishna, the perfect person who does not have any of these defects. And then Prabhupada talks about a very interesting concept in the purport about 5 stages of our consciousness. First stage we spoke about, we are in bodily consciousness. We think only this body. Or in some sense, it is called Annamaya stage. Annamaya stage means, like for example, you see small children, some baby born and is growing up, and you see everything you give, she will put in her mouth. She's mostly concerned with eating, isn't it? Anything you give goes into the mouth. So the Upanishad says, Taittiriya Upanishad says, the babies are at the lowest level of consciousness called Annamaya. Anna means food, Maya means made of. So they see everything as their food. And there are other stages. There is Pranamaya, second stage, Gnanamaya, third stage, Vijnanamaya, fourth stage, and Anandamaya, fifth stage. So people today might reject the assumption that individuals are at different levels of consciousness. People think, oh, we are all made the same. Yes, we are all made the same, meaning we all have same opportunity to excel. But we are all at different consciousness currently. Somebody is focused on their body, somebody is focused on their work or family or friends or politics. We are trying to live based on our consciousness. So the second stage is called pranamaya, wherein we are satisfied just to be alive, and we try to stay alive at all costs. It's called pranamaya. But what about philosophical thoughts? What about stepping back, contemplating, trying to understand what life is really about? So that philosophical inquiry is a step above the concerns for life and safety in this body. So that thoughtful person rises above the masses of people who are in either Annamaya or Pranamaya. That thoughtful person is in Gnanamaya stage. For example, all of you are eager to hear about Bhagavad Gita, understanding who we are. You are at least in the Gnanamaya stage. But just thinking about these big questions isn't enough. When somebody realizes that I'm not this body but a spirit soul, that is called Vijnanamaya stage. We're all in that process. We understand, at least theoretically, we are spirit soul. And but that's not the end. Many Gnanis, they also come to this stage, Vijnanamaya. Oh, I am spirit soul, Aham Brahmasmi. But there is Krishna, there is Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am part and parcel of Him. My abode is with Him originally. And He is full of Ananda, and I am also full of Ananda. When I engage in service with Him, I discover my real Ananda. That is called Anandamaya stage. Because Krishna is always full of bliss. Anandamaya Bhyasat. Wherever you see Krishna's picture, he's performing joyous pastimes. Even when killing the demons, you see he's like not even breaking a sweat. He is fully in happiness. It's a pastime for him. So that is our ultimate stage of growing. Anandamaya stage. Stage of bliss, engaged in the service of Krishna. As Krishna is Anandamaya, we also can become Anandamaya because we are part and parcels of Krishna. And you can see that instantly when you connect with Krishna truly. Like, for example, you hear nice kirtan or you chant nicely, hearing it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can connect to Krishna. You cannot stop it. You feel transcendental. That is called Anandamaya. So a human being, a soul has to rise to these levels. Ultimate perfection. I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? भगवद गीता as it is की जाए, Srila Prabhupada की जाए, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल.